Hi, brothers and sisters. We're going to take a quick look at who our accuser is and how we've drawn this conclusion. It only comes to you when you study. Okay, back on. I should have turned it up. Yeah, study. Not by being complacent about it and sitting back and letting them in on the pulpit tell you that they've done all the hard work for you and just simply go in and read what the forefathers wrote that it means. We're actually going to understand who our accuser is. And we've looked at this one once before, this particular passage. Whoop, down, up. There we go. And it is found in, let's see, where is it? It's found in, I'll go back here far enough to find it. It is in Job 31:36. Or no, 35. Yeah, I was looking at this yesterday, so I still got my tab pulled up. So this is what it says, and this is where we discovered who the accuser is. We also understand by who is doing the accusation, who's being accused. So let's go in here. Now, for those of you who's been with us on these studies, you know this already. To those that the truth is important enough to just listen, to give it a listen and go, yeah, that reasons what they're saying off the pulpit. 3 males don't reason. And for those who are saying mankind includes womankind, that's a joke. They know it don't include you. Mankind knows womankind is distinct and separate from himself. They made the laws ensuring that womankind did not have rights because she was not a man. And they made sure to tell you that under their law. You see? So when they say mankind, their idea of mankind is the harlot bowed down at their feet. That's what their definition of a woman is, and you let them define that for you. You let them tell you who you are, and to them, it's you bowed down at their feet with your mouth shut, playing their harlot. And you could say, well, that's not it. Yes, it is. I heard him say it off the pulpit, that you couldn't say no to your husband. We're talking in a sexual sense here, and that you must be, shh. You must listen to your head. He's not my head. And he makes sure to tell you that you are not equal to him under the law. So he's definitely telling you there's a distinction between man and woman. You are not mankind, you are womankind. And he knows it. Now, let's look at the accuser here, Job 31:35. We took a look at this in a video, and we discovered who the accuser is. So let's read the verse. We'll do the New International Version here because it's the first one. It really doesn't matter what version you pick. What you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to look at interlinear, which one has it actually correct. And you'll find 9 times out of 10, they're most in full agreement. They may use a different word for the exact same word. And you'll discover the errors when you actually go in and you hit on the actual words, and you'll realize, hey, that's not how that's rendered. So it really don't matter what version you're looking at when you're going in and looking at the actual words. So, New International Version says, oh, that I had someone to hear me. I sign now my defense. Let the Almighty answer me. And let my accuser, here we go with the accuser, put his indictment in writing. Who's the accuser that we're often told? So we're going to slip away from here for just a minute. And we're going to go to this word in Greek. So it's Strong's Greek 2725. And this is what it says in the Greek. 2725. Accuser, male, prosecutor, from kata or kata and agora. And it's against one in the assembly, against someone in the assembly. It also means a complaint at law. So he took her to the law and he complained about her. Especially, what does it say? Satan dash the accuser. So let's go back to this chapter, Job 31. Oh, that I had someone to hear me. I sign now my defense. Let the Almighty answer me, and let my accuser, Satan, put his indictment in writing. Let's go back to the Greek again here and look at a few other words. So we'll go to Satanas. This is Strong's Greek 4567, noun masculine. The adversary, Satan, i.e. the devil. Let's scroll down here and see what else we'll pick up. Excuse me, my nose itches. Satan, it's of Chaldee origin or Chaldee origin, corresponding to Mabad, with a definite affix. The accuser, i.e. the devil, Satan. So there we keep picking up the word accuser. Let's go to a couple other ones, or at least one other one. Let's go to this one. Let's go to this one that we heard in a lot of TV shows. Beelzebub. That's the one we heard. Beelzebul. 954, Strong's Greek. Beelzebul, a name of Satan, who is who? The accuser. And he accused one in the court of law, is what we're said. He has an accusation against this one in the court of law. So, Beelzebub of Chaldee origin, by parody on Beelzebub. Dung god. Oh, look at that. A name of Satan. Dung god. Well, that's familiar to us, isn't it? Because we discovered. So it says of uncertain origin, confer or compare Baal. Who did we discover Baal was? Well, let's go to the Old Testament. Well, it's pulled up 1167, and naturally so, because they're going to do the run around here. Just a second. There we go. I got to access. Things are coming up in my face. Okay, so we'll scroll down here. From Baal and from Zebub, a Philistine god. Baal, a special deity of the Ekronites or Ekronites. So let's from Baal. Let's hit on that one. B-A-A-L. That's 1168. It's a heathen god. Yep, heathen god. Remember, this is another name for Satan, who is the accuser, who we find accusing in Job 31. It's also a plural of Balaam. Oh, look, what did we discover about Balaam in the Exodus? What did we discover? So it's the same as. It's the same as. Get this? As little b, a, comma, a-l. Or apostrophe. I always say comma. Let's hit on it. You know what it means? Well, it means owner, Lord. Does it really, though? Let's scroll down here. Archers. Bridegroom. You're telling me Satan's clever enough to create a bridegroom as your idol that you bow down to? This same accuser accused somebody before the courts of supposed heaven. Captain. Oh, he's a captain. Sure he is. He's a dreamer also. He's a dreamer, all right. Those same dreamers dreaming of man, he as God. In Jeremiah 23, we discovered that. Masters. They love that word, master. Husband. Husband? Oh my gosh. You mean my husband is my accuser in the courts of heaven, and his name is Satan, Baal, Beelzebub? Let's go look at what this accuser is in Job 31:35. Let's read it again. Oh, that I had someone to hear me. I sign now my defense. Let the Almighty answer me, and let my accuser put his indictment in writing. Let's look up indictment, just for the record here, before we go right in. I was going to read a couple other passages, but versions of it, rather. One to hear me. I put my mark. So mark is exemption from law. So that's a presentation of your case. Testify, a witness, make an answer, would answer me. So is it written? The indictment? Is that the written? A missive, a document, writing a book. So we know that he wrote all of his accusations. And she says, oh, that I had them written in a book. Well, we discovered the book was the Bible, where he actually wrote his accusations against her. But we find that the little book sealed up is actually her response to his accusations. That's what we discovered about the little book. For anybody who cares about the truth. So let's look up the accuser here. The prosecutor, the one who's prosecuting her, accusing her, and it because there's only one time that we can go back to that our husband accused. And that was in the very beginning when Adam accused the woman. When man accused the woman. Accuser. Bel. See? See? It pays to really study and want to discover the truth through the Spirit. So what's the accuser here? The accuser is 376, Strong's Hebrew, ish. Man. Are you telling me Satan is man accusing, well, apparently another man, because they removed the she pronoun out of there. He accused her before the courts of heaven. And you want to know why? So he could steal her throne of power, which is exactly what he did. Now he tells you that you're part of mankind because he's your head. But they know clearly that you are a woman and womankind by telling you that you have no rights under the law. So please don't use that mankind word again, because we know you're only talking about yourself when you're using it. You're not talking about womankind. And you, man, do not define what I as a woman am. That definition came from my mother, not from my husband, who wants me silenced down at his feet. And you know why he silences you? So he can accuse you. It's imperative that he kept you silent and shut up and not looking for the truth. It's imperative that he did that. That's how he keeps himself exalted in the heavens. Bel. That's found in Jeremiah 51 as the king of Babylon. Yeah, but he will come down. She, the harlot, the exalting, is going to come down. So this word is the accuser, ish, 376. So we'll go down here. Oh, a mighty man, high degree, him that is husband, mankind. It's man. It's not woman. The accuser was man. You don't see that from the beginning. Had they grabbed onto the lie and the accusations written in that book, the whole creation of mankind has grabbed onto that. We're talking men. And they'll use those accusations against you every time to remove your right to exist as a woman separately from himself. They do not like that. And they made sure to know that their rights under the law didn't include you because you're a man. No, you're not. You're a woman. So here we get who accused. And we know who was accused in the very beginning. It was the woman that got accused. So now we're going to go to Isaiah 42. Yeah. This Lord of dung. Let's not do that. Yeah, let's do this right quick. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and I have restrained myself. She's the restrainer, the Holy Spirit in the land. I have restrained myself. I have been silent. Yeah. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I'll bring down your lie. I'll bring down your king Baal, your bridegroom Jesus. I'll bring them all down on your own heads. I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs, and I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools, and I'll bring the blind by a way that they knew not. This is the pathway that you did not see. It coming was covered over by water, an admixture. We find that verse in Psalm somewhere. Let me find it for you. I've said it's here. I've done many videos on it. But for those who might just be picking this channel up, the odd one here and there, Psalm, we'll do the Psalm verse covered. Oops, getting off here. Covered. Okay. Let's see if that's it. So it's reading in Psalm 77:19. Your path led through the sea. What sea? The Red Sea. And whose was that path? The presence of God. Who was the presence identified on earth? The camp of Mahanaim. The camp of God. God on earth. The presence who parted the waters. And she's also seen with the Shulamite. She says, look not upon me, because the sun has blackened me. You know what the sun is there? The false light that shone upon her and made her black. In the spirit, it says, in one part. So it's identifying false doctrine come in, and they stole her vineyard from her, but she says, my own vineyard I have neglected. So here we get this presence. Your path led through the sea, your way through the mighty waters, though your footprints were not seen. Because the admixture of lie, when Satan the accuser come in, it come in as an admixture, which is now identified as wine on your table, that you get drunk on and you go to sleep in. It says, the Lord shall awaken. The Lord is 136. Daughter Zion's number shall awaken from sleep as a warrior that's been drunk on wine, an admixture of lies. She finally wakes up out of that man-made lie. Satan the accuser, her husband, made up so he could take her throne of power, which was the right to write the law. So there we go. And I will lead the blind by a way that they knew not. And I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them. You're living in darkness and you're on a crooked path, and I will make them straight. These things will I do unto them, and I will not forsake them. Our mother is not going to forsake us, and she is the only one who can birth you into life, which is why you get the admixture of doctrine, the Red Sea, the presence of God, which is the women must part this, because this is the birthing canal. Yeah. And we find these two covenants, Genesis 15:9. We get the pigeon on one side, we get the turtle dove on the other side. So you get two covenants there in view. The man's was of bloodshed, and the accusations came from him. We see that in the very beginning. And we saw the woman actually go silent in this accusation. She says, would that I would bind his accusations upon my head, and I would wear them like a crown, to which she does. Despite it, she thinks she's a queen. She wears this accusation like a queen upon her head. But we're also told that she has to do that. That she absolutely has to do that in order, in the end, to awaken out of the sleep, the drinking of this wine that put her to sleep, which you find in Habakkuk 2:15 and 16. He put drink to her lips so that they could expose her nakedness and look upon it. That drink is this admixture of religious lies and laws that's got her silenced and down at his feet playing his harlot, which is what he wants. He's telling you what you are, woman. You're his harlot. Get it? You're not defined by what he tells you you are. You're defined by what your God tells you you are. And that is your mother wisdom. And you turned away from her in the days of your youth, of course. But we saw why they turned away from her in the days of their youth. We saw men like Mordecai taking little Esther under his wing to teach her how to battle man. And his name leads straight back to Baal, really. Let's look his name up to get this correct. Marduk is another name for Baal. Yeah, it is. Meaning of the name Mordecai. And then we'll look it up in Strong's Hebrew. Let me see if I can get this right here. So, follower of Marduk. Just look Marduk up and you'll discover that Marduk is a name for Baal. Husband, Lord, and God. So he was specifically wanting women to turn to men as God. He was teaching little Esther how to bow to a king. We found the sons, supposedly, of God, who would have been the sons of these, the presence of God, called God on this earth, which were the women inside the nation of Israel. They were God. And these sons of God would have been her sons who decided that they didn't want the water covenant. They didn't want her word. They wanted blood. So they stab and murder these precious stones, identified in Lamentations 4:1. We did a video on that a long time ago. And these sons became as worthless pots, clay pots. They were of no value. And then we saw sons like Mordecai taking Esther and teaching her how to bow to a man. And what was the decree made? We'll keep hammering away at this. That every wife would bow to her-Bel. You see, this is what this whole creation has been built upon. The accusation of the first Adam, who was, and Mother has told us this, he is not fit to be in covenant with. He's not fit. And she says, but I'll take out a new branch. This branch is coming away from this religious lie and that accusation, and who is standing up for her house and her case and is presenting it. This will be my new branch. Now watch what God promises. Watch this. So in Psalm 50, we'll read this right quick before we move ahead to the watch this. Thou sittest and you spoke against your sister. They got brother, because over time Baal got smart. He removed the Sheol together, and women started following behind that, of course, because they were raised up in it from the time they were little girls, and they did not have their wise women to teach them otherwise. You speakest against your own sister, and you slanderest thine own mother's daughter, not son. You didn't slander yourself and another man. You slandered me. You spoke your lies against me, and you accused me of being beguiled by Satan. Well, if she was beguiled, guess who she got beguiled by? Her own husband, who now is claiming to be your bridegroom in God. You think Satan isn't clever? He's got you down at his feet playing his little harlot. That's his definition of a woman, by the way. And you're just too unwise to understand. You refuse to understand it. So these things has thou done, and I kept silent. Who kept silent? Long time have I held my peace. And we get her silent in many passages. Oftentimes that word silent will relate back to the woman that you hated from the very beginning. Though they stuck the he pronoun. But you got to wake up to that truth. Though that thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one of yourself. You thought I was a man. But you really don't, do you? But you want me to be a man to go along with everything that you've taught. You want me to go along with your lie. And she does, according to Isaiah 54:1. The wife that he's married to there is Baal. It's really himself, a woman who will bow down and teach his lies. So you thought I was just like you. You thought I was Baal and I was going to teach your lies and build you up. I'm not. I'm a woman. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether like you, a man. But I will reprove you. That's a rebuke. But I arraign you. This is a court case. But I will rebuke you and lay out the case before you. So we saw her, when we get it all, accusing of her being accused by man, Baal, Beelzebub, Satan, the accuser in the courts of heaven. But I will rebuke you and I will lay out the case before you. Understand this, you who forget God. You who forget the presence of God was on earth. That was the daughters. Inside the nation of Israel, called the right hand of God, and God there would be Mother Wisdom. Yeah. Or I will tear you apart. There's the lionesses that you get in Micah chapter 4. No man appoints them to this. They're appointed by the Spirit, who they represent on earth. Or I will tear you apart, and there will be no one to rescue you. Whoever sacrifices a thank offering unto me. Now understand, this is not about a blood offering. Let's go back to the King James. Whosoever offereth praise unto wisdom, unto mother, glorifieth me. And to him and to her that ordereth your conversation aright. You've got your case in order. And you get your case in order when you begin to ask the right questions. You're not asking the right question. You actually refuse to ask them. Ordereth your conversation aright, will I show the true salvation of God. Now, we've got another place we want to go. Because it brings in the dung god. We're going to Micah 2. And we're going to actually read the HCSB rendering on this. Because I like it. And it says just what it needs to say. Therefore, this is the decree for you, priests. We can say priests, but I'm starting to think it may be priestesses as well. If you don't listen, and if you don't take it to heart to honor my name. Now, who was it that said, when I called, you couldn't be bothered to listen to anything I had to say? I will laugh at you in the day of your calamity. Who said that? It was Wisdom, who is the creator of the entire kingdom, according to the Bible, when you actually study it and find the little book. And she says that in Proverbs 1, and she says, when you won't listen to me, then I'm going to decree the decree to my daughter. This day have I begotten thee. And she will become the rod of iron. Yeah, and she's going to smash the toes on the image of that made-up God in Daniel 2, which every successive kingdom has continued to build on. You know, men have continued to accuse and build on this religious lie and law, to subjugate womankind under, to steal her goods, and to place her down at his feet as her harlot. He's defining woman as a harlot. And you're going to let him do it, girls? You're going to let him keep going forth with this accusation to the courts? Don't you think it's time you started standing up and building your own house? So, if you don't listen, and if you don't take it to heart to honor my name, this is Malachi 2, verse 2, says Yahweh of the hosts, I will send a curse among you, and I will curse your blessings. In fact, she says, I have already begun to curse him because you are not taking it to heart. You're not listening to anything wisdom's daughters have to say. You're not listening to me. So you know what she says in verse 3? Watch this. Look, I am going to rebuke your descendants. And I like this. And spread dung upon your faces. Yeah, there we've got the dung god in view. So it very well, and the seed here is male. So she's talking to the daughters in a sense, I'm going to spread dung on your faces for the sons that you produce, which is teaching my daughters that they're nothing. So it's a cycle that goes on and on and on. And it takes the new branch of daughters rising up from the lie after they reason it out with mother truth, with wisdom, to create this new branch in the land. So look, I am going to rebuke your descendants, and I will spread, it says, animal waste over your faces, the waste from your festival sacrifices, and you will be taken away with it. Then you will know that I sent you this decree, so that my covenant with, it's got Levi, with my daughter Zion, may continue. And she says to her, I will restore your covenant, yet is she the wife of thy youth, not the harlot that you got bowed down at your feet, worshipping you like your God, and adhering to your law, which then tells her that she doesn't have any rights, or any goods for that matter. They're all his. Well, the world would testify to that, because look at all your multi-trillionaires, and there is trillionaires, billionaires, they're men, they're males who's built themselves up with thick clay under a man-made religious lie and law system. And they'll say, well, no, most of them at the top aren't Christians. No, but they're the ones that built it. They know exactly what they're doing. They're part of the Satan organization. Satanic. Yeah. Men at the top playing God, and they know exactly what they're doing. Who's ruling this world if it isn't rich men at the top, who's took advantage of their own man-made law written because of the religious lie and accusations that came to feed out to the four corners of this world? Satan, your accuser, is Baal, your husband, your bridegroom, is then Jesus, who is inaccessibly high, who is Bel, the king of Babylon. But you know what? I realized that would hurt your ego. So look, I am going to rebuke your descendants, and I'll spread animal waste over your faces, the waste from your festival sacrifices, and you will be taken away. Then you will know that I sent you this decree, so that my covenant with my daughter Zion may continue. Let's go down. We'll read a little bit more. My covenant with her was one of life and peace, and I gave these to her. It called for reverence, and she revered me and stood in awe of my name. Now we can transfer that to a he. He did in the beginning. True instructions was in her mouth, and nothing wrong was found on her lips. So we get the word on the 144,000 of having no guile on their tongue, and they come away from Babylon, the daughters who's bowing to man as if he's Lord and God, to their head Jesus, who's really Satan, Adam, Bel, the accuser, Beelzebub. And that's how clever Satan is. That's how clever Adam is. He knew what he was doing when he went after her throne, and her throne was the right to write the laws in the world. And there were laws of peace, truth, and equity and fairness, but he knew that to take woman's right and say that he's her head, so we get this whole image of a female body with a male head. But yet we see the harlot hid in his heart in Isaiah 40 saying, so no one sees me. Oh, he's so clever. He's got her hidden, protected. Yeah, in that little basket, which is also the curse to go forth over the whole earth. So true instruction was in her mouth, and nothing wrong was found on her lips. She has no guile. She walked with me in peace and fairness and turned away from sin. For the lips of a priest or priestess should guard knowledge, and people should seek instruction from her mouth, because she is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. Again, I truly believe that this is a reference to female the more I look at it, because we get the messenger that is the one speaking in the wilderness, making a pathway for her God. And it says, who shall stand before him? Every reference there, when we get understanding, has reference to the feminine in view. And what I mean by that is, let's go to Malachi 3. So I mean, it's just a matter of studying. So what does it say? For the lips of a priestess should guard knowledge, and people should seek instruction from her mouth, because she is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. So let's go over to Malachi 3 and understand these feminine. Now, I didn't think I was going to do this. So it says, but who can endure the day of not his coming, her coming? And who will be able to stand when she appears? For she will be like a refiner's fire and like the fuller's soap. Both of these are references to the divine feminine. The fuller's soap is used by women when they're cleansing the garment. And it was the women's job to do that in the upper pool before Solomon determined and Hezekiah determined to tear down the upper pool. And everything comes down into that lower pool, which was nothing but filth. You can't be cleansed in a filthy pool. You can't. And that was found in Jerusalem, Judah. Yeah, the upper house in the upper pool was her house. And where she kept everything clean under her law. She kept the garment clean. So when she comes, who shall be able to stand before the refiner's fire and like cleansing lyre? Fuller's soap. But we see what they did to her upper pool. It says, you had no respect to the maker thereof. Now I truly believe upper Beth Horon and lower Beth Horon was a reference to the upper and lower pools, and both of them were built by Shira. And she also built Uz and Shiran. What did that mean? Listen to Shira. So it says, but you had no respect to the maker thereof. You couldn't be bothered to listen to her. Yeah, and her message. That's wisdom when she calls. She says, you couldn't be bothered to listen to any of my instructions. I'm the wrong gender according to Baal, Satan, the accuser, which is accusing womankind before the courts of heaven daily. Man does this daily. Just watch YouTube. Watch the men do nothing but gnash on the woman and accuse her. That's all they can do. Watch them gnash, gnash, gnash. And it's even about such petty things as shows and movies. How dare they put a strong woman? How dare they? These are old writings. The old writings by Baal. Come on. By men who hate women. And they're up here gnashing away. Gnash, gnash, gnash. Oh, it's crazy. the sense of self-entitlement that man has under his own man-made religious lies and laws. And she's letting you get away with it. She's not now. I think she stepped up to the court case, right? So Malachi 2 takes us back to the one setting her case in order. She says, now will I set the case in order. That comes down to the Koheleth, which is a female assembler. In Ecclesiastes 12 is the word you want to look up, preacher. And it'll say female assembler when you scroll down. And it says she sets the proverbs in order and she teaches knowledge. And that was her job to do. All right, before they stab her in the back and take her right in her position of power away from her. Basically, so man can play God and rule her and steal her goods and take her throne from her. But we see her picking herself up out of the dust of the earth. We'll read this and we'll be done. This is found in Isaiah 52. And it's the only place that I can really find a throne addressed being took back. Because they took it from her. And it's the feminine. So, Isaiah 52. Awake! Awake! Put on thy strength, O daughter Zion. So we found her waking like a warrior that's been drunk on wine. That's right. She's aroused out of sleep because she went to sleep in the admixture of lies. Wine will put you to sleep. So she's the Lord that awakens in, where is it? Psalm 78, I think. Psalm 77. You can ask and it'll pull it up for you. It should. The Lord that awakens like warrior that's been drunk on wine. The Lord there is 136. That's why we know it's this Lord here awakening. Awake, awake, put on thy strength. Take back your power. Put on your beautiful garments. Quit playing his harlot. Oh, Jerusalem. I think it's O Zion. This is the branch, the daughter. The holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come in unto thee the uncircumcised, which is a covenant with the harlot spirit, which is why men are not circumcised. Shake thyself from the dust and arise and sit down. Enthrone thyself, free yourself from the change of bondage of his religious lies and law system that's got you under his chain of command. So loose thyself from the bands of the neck, O captive daughter of Zion, come away. Free yourself. Show me the case. Set the proverbs in order. Get your little book. Yep. Because he actually put his accusations in the big book. Oh, that my accuser had written a book. Oh, he did. For thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. That's right. It says, come and buy means believe the truth. Buy means believe. It doesn't mean to purchase. That's found in, where was it found? Isaiah 55. She says, come to my waters and believe them freely. You need nothing. You don't need the blood of him. I'll wash the blood off of my daughters with my truth. That's wisdom speaking. For thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and you shall be redeemed without money. You'll be redeemed with the truth, my truth. For thus saith the Lord God, my people went down aforetime into Egypt, the land of idolatry, to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. Now therefore, what have I here, saith the Lord, that my people is taken away for naught? They that rule over them make them to howl, saith the Lord, and my name continually every day is blasphemed. Who is blasphemed? She that sat between the cherubim. We found her in, where was it, 2 Kings 19? The double chapter of that, identical. So you better listen. Isaiah 37, right? And so they were blaspheming her holy name. The children have come to the birth, and there is not strength to deliver. Why? Because Baal was teaching himself as God. Jeremiah 23. And they began to prophesy through the he pronoun. God says in Deuteronomy, for you saw no image of me, make no image of me. I ain't telling you to bow down to the ones who has my law on her tongue. I'm telling you to follow the way. You are to make neither male nor female. You are to follow my way. But you are to hearken to my daughter's laws, because they come directly from me. Can't do it. Too much pride. Adam, the accuser, had too much pride, and he still does today. It says the snare he lays for us to fall into, guess what? He has fallen into it himself. And it says he does not escape. It says, yet we pass by. As a dove that was captured by the fowler's snare. Adam's lie. Satan the accuser playing Jesus now, your bridegroom, who washes you. Anyway, that's the video. We've proved our case. We've proved we're right. They just have too much pride to bother to listen to the truth. It says truth staggered and could not enter in. It says this world cannot receive the spirit of truth. They want nothing to do with her. The little girl that was took, Esther, was taught, and I'm sure she taught it to her daughters. And it was just a continued expansion of the religious lies by man. And we get that understanding, I believe in Isaiah 59, it says they have weaved a web of lies together for a garment. It's a garment that's been constructed of lies, and it can't hold. And it says they used violence to weave that garment together. And this garment is the lie. It is weaved by a religious lie built by Baal, who accused from the beginning. Adam, the accuser in the garden, who accused her from the beginning. She says, I don't know where he's getting his accusations from. And she said, would that my accuser had written a book. I would bind it upon me, and I would wear it upon my head like a crown. And she has. And in the end, she perseveres over her enemy and accuser. No matter how much pride he's got, in the spirit he will be taken down and removed. I will remove the name of Bel off of your tongue. He ain't your Lord and Master. Bel is another name meaning bridegroom. And you call Jesus your head, your bridegroom. You're the harlot in the land. You're not the new branch. I would want to be looking into that if I was you. If I had any sense of self-worth, and self-worth is a good thing. It comes from our maker, our creator that gives that to us. And if you don't have that, you're going to just bow to any lie. So, anyway, there's a video. Thanks for watching. I pray the Lord blesses you with an abundance of the truth. I hope you all have a lovely day, and thanks for watching.